What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So 2 days ago, Technoblade went live. He was live on YouTube and things were just normal as always, which is good to hear. If you don't know, about like 2 to 3 weeks ago, Technoblade got in a little bit of heat. Not really, to be honest. It was only a few people upset. But essentially, there's a group of people who went through Technoblade's thousands of year-old tweets, found a joke he made 4 years ago and decided to get mad over it. The good thing was the majority of Twitter actually came together and said that, Technoblade, he's not the issue. You know who is the issue? People who go through thousands of old tweets to find something to be upset about. So thankfully that happened. Unfortunately, Technoblade went about deleting some old videos and he wasn't streaming, so people were a little bit concerned. But finally, he's back, and I'm really happy about it. So in today's video, we're going to be kind of looking back at what happened. Hopefully to make sure it doesn't happen again. They say why we teach history, or why we learn history, is so that we can learn from the mistakes of the past. We're also going to be looking at how Technoblade responded to all of this, specifically how he didn't, completely make a post addressing it or anything like that, and how he actually did a pretty good job about going about it. And anyways, with that being said, let's get right into the video. Quickly, if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to hit 200K by summer, and that'd be pretty cool. Also, for a very limited time, if you leave a like on this video, you will literally get nothing. So leave a like in the video if you want your free nothing. Anyways, let's get into it. The reason why I'm making this video now is because I think the fact that Technoblade did his first live stream ever since the whole thing went down kind of marks the conclusion of all of this. Hopefully, we can hope that not another person will start digging it up and making a thread that goes mini viral. But anyways, I think that him going live is kind of the conclusion or the end of all of this, and it kind of wraps up his response to the situation. So briefly, I'm going to go over what happened. So I'm only going to take like 30 seconds because I'm sure a lot of you came from my other videos that I've covered this on and kind of know what happened. But for the few people who don't, basically, this is what happened. So essentially, this was about 3 weeks ago. Some people were digging through Technoblade's old tweets with an intention to find something potentially upsetting. And, he made a joke about 4 years ago. It wasn't that bad. No one was really upset. But there was a group of people who didn't even watch Technoblade who just got mad and tried to find a way to take him out. My theory is, he was just too, unproblematic. He was just too good of a person, and they just couldn't let that happen, especially since it wasn't someone that they watched. Yeah, someone they didn't watch wasn't absolutely being obliterated on Twitter, so, got to put an end to that, essentially. So the thing was, that initial tweet that kind of went mini viral got like 1,000 likes, but it also got demolished in the replies, and basically, everyone came together saying that this was stupid and that the actual issue was people calling other people out for old tweets. The actual problematic person here are people who go through people's tweets just for the sole purpose of finding something that, could potentially, get them quote unquote, taken out, canceled, whatever you want to say. And it's unlucky. It's unfortunate. Also, no, I do not know why I've already had 2 voice cracks. I've already gone through puberty mostly. I'm 18, so it's a little embarrassing. Don't flame me too hard in the comment section down below. But anyway, so this went down, but then about a week ago, there was a thread that actually went super viral. It got 42,000 likes, and it basically was calling out Dream, Schlatt, and it also included a whole section of the mega thread for Technoblade. So it basically got brought up again, which was pretty annoying. And the thing was, the original thread 3 weeks ago had literally no support behind it. Everyone was saying this is stupid. But the recent thread, which I do believe is taken down now, I'm not totally sure, had 40K or 42,000 likes, and it wasn't completely ratioed in the replies or anything like that. So that was a little bit more concerning. I thought that Twitter actually learned, but in my theory, this is my theory, that this 40,000 people were basically just people who didn't like, the Dream SMP or Dream or Minecraft creators, because, to be fair, whenever someone gets super popular on the internet, people who don't consume their content will genuinely probably just not like them because they're being successful. And that's just a law of nature at this point, to be honest. It's just a law of nature. So that's basically what happened. I think the majority of people who actually watch Technoblade, I would say the vast majority, saw nothing wrong with anything, and they know that, in general, he's a very supportive, he's a supportive YouTuber. Even 5 years ago, take a look at this. I was pretty upset genuinely because people left this out. He said, you're not cool and edgy. If you want to use these words, I can't stop you, but I won't accept it here. So the thing is, people who called him out really just ignored when he made a serious take there and basically everything else he said. And the one time he made a joke, they're like, nah, man, this is his real perspective. It's just so frustrating. So anyways, how did Technoblade actually respond to this? So basically, he's actually been privating some older videos for a while, especially if he said, I think he said in the past or on live streams that he just hasn't been happy with his older content. But basically, ever since that tweet, kind of some people resurfaced it and got upset about it, the few people who did, he deleted quite a few of his older videos. I know Calvin kind of made a post about this. So at first, I wasn't going to comment on that because, I wasn't sure if there was a correlation. But, a friend of Technoblade, Calvin, and a good guy, I like his channel, go subscribe. He kind of said something about it, so I felt like there was a bit more merit. Still, Techno hasn't come out and said anything, and that's almost part of why his response was pretty good, in my opinion. He didn't bow down, in a sense. While it's kind of, it's sad to see some of his old content go. I'm not going to say that that isn't true, because as a fan of him myself, it's sad that I can't watch some of those older videos. Over the summer, I would just be chilling, playing some Minecraft or just, chilling or whatever, and I would have some of those older, Sky Wars commentary videos in the background. I did, they're enjoyable. It's sad to see them go, but I can understand where he kind of felt like his hand was forced. So that's the unfortunate part of his response, but probably the good part of his response was how he didn't even really respond. He didn't verbally respond. The problem is, or here's where I see a problem. If you're called out for something that is nonsense and you shouldn't be actually called out for, if you respond to it and you bow down to it, they're going to keep coming. Once you let them walk all over you, they're going to continue to do it. They're going to look for more because they know that they can get you. They know that they can get you. But don't get me wrong on this. If you actually do something that is an issue, that is a problem, you should respond to it. I am all for creators who actually have said things, that weren't a joke, or if a joke went too far, who actually come out and address it and say, hey, my bad. I'm sorry about that. I don't stand by it. That's something that, I think is probably a good thing. However, if you're called out for something that just is complete kind of it is such mental gymnastics to get to a point where it makes any sense that you should be called out for it, then no, I don't think you should bow down. The second that you address it publicly, you've almost lost at that point. You've conceded. Finally, people were a little bit concerned because he wasn't going live. And, to be fair, I don't know if there's truly a correlation between that. If you've been a fan of Techno for a little while, you probably know that his upload schedule is, to say the very least, not that consistent. But it was a little bit concerning that he wasn't going live at all. People were afraid that this was the reason. I can't say that it was the reason. I don't know the guy personally, and I'm not going to speculate on that. But it's just nice to see him back, and it's almost as if he's kind of brushed it off. And I really don't think we're going to see a public response. And I at this point, I really hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't address it on stream. I hope he doesn't say anything on Twitter, unless on stream he's like, yeah, unless he says it's stupid. Unless he says it's ridiculous. Because I don't want to see him cave in, and I don't want to see him, because I'm afraid, maybe he's just such a nice guy that, for the few people who were genuinely upset, which allegedly there were, maybe he just wants to make them feel better. But I'm just afraid that if he does that, then people are going to see that as an opportunity. Because I feel that a lot of people who were starting to call him out, quote unquote, were really doing it for the likes and the retweets and weren't actually upset. Because a lot of people who would theoretically be upset by this tweet were in my comment section, were in the replies saying, this is obviously a joke. We know Technoblade's stance and all these things from his serious takes. Not from his jokes, that are obviously jokes, but from his serious takes. Now that we've had a history lesson, let's actually use history to learn from our mistakes in the past to make sure we don't make them in the future. So this kind of goes out to any creators who might potentially be watching this, or I guess you guys who are just interested in my take on what a creator should do. So this only applies if a creator is called out for something that is obviously irrelevant, obviously doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make sense for them to reply, I hope it's clear that this take I'm about to give of what you should do if you're called out, it does not apply if you're actually called out for something that's legitimately an issue, okay? I hope this is clear. Drum roll, please. No twitlongers. No alt Twitter accounts. Don't go in your second account and say sorry, guys, unless you actually mean to say sorry. No, going on live, starting live being serious stream and addressing it. Don't address this stuff. At this point, you're really just feeding the trolls at this point. If you actually say something bad, look, if you actually say something bad and people are legitimately calling you out, you should apologize. But if you apologize for something that really doesn't require an apology, then people are going to find other things about you that don't require an apology and call you out. It's a cycle, and you will feed into it. Unfortunately, this is kind of how things work now. And some people made an observation that it's like ever since, lockdown, people have been, more vicious with what they call people out for. And by vicious, I mean calling people out for nonsense when it's very apparently nonsense. And this is kind of true. Hopefully, the universe will reset itself a little bit when we get back outside, hopefully soon. And maybe Twitter will too, and they'll go back to actually calling out people for potentially legitimate things and not just haha lol, epic funny meme 4 years ago. This is now your official position, signed twitter.com. Like, maybe things will right themselves. But until then, don't back down. Just stand up for yourself if it makes sense, and, also apologize if you're actually in the wrong. I'm not trying to promote people ignoring themselves making mistakes. That is not the intention. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment techno support down below just in case, he sees this video. I just want him to make sure that he knows that because, the video is very supportive of him, but I also want the comment section to be supportive of him. This stuff can be stressful. Even if it's dumb, it's stressful. So I just want to see some nice support in the comment section for him. And anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. I really do. It means a lot to me. Consider turning on notifications if you haven't already done so. Join the Discord server, link in description. And anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.